If you are listening to this podcast, it means you're searching for someone who understands you, someone who gets you. You are yearning to be understood and to belong. Welcome to the Someone Gets Me podcast, where we help smart, talented, and sensitive people navigate an often insensitive world. I am Dianne A, your host. My roles as ambassador, author, speaker, and intuitive mentor for bright and talented people are woven into each episode. I have the experience and knowledge to educate and inspire, as I have been there and I understand your unique intensities, sensitivities, and challenges. Welcome. Life equilibrium trumps life balance. Hi, friends, and welcome to Someone Gets Me. Today, I want to talk about something that I mention on and off in many of my sessions and many of my talks, and I think about it, and it's been on my mind. So today, we're going to talk about life balance and how that whole concept is not comprehensive enough for gifted or intense people or people who live outside of the box. So if you're a visionary, a gifted, an empath, an intuitive, or you have all the above, what we know is that that whole idea of life balance implies like a two-sided scales, like the scale of justice. And the goal is to try to get it even and balanced, which is almost impossible to do. And so people spend an inordinate amount of time seeking balance in something that, in my experience, both personally and professionally, isn't about balance as much as it is learning how to have a flow and equilibrium. So I invite you to begin to consider the idea, instead of a two-sided scale where I have to have balance, work-life balance, that implies there's two parts of your life only, and it doesn't include any of the nuance or any of the different stages in your life. And so I see so many people struggling to achieve something that they're creating more struggle if they would only learn that it's more about life equilibrium. So let's talk about equilibrium for a moment. For me, equilibrium has the feeling of flow, has a feeling of movement. It shifts and alters and changes based on time, temperature, and all of those things. So I reflect back, like on my life, for example. I remember when I was in undergraduate school at the University of Florida, and it would be finals week. Now, many of you have gone to college and in high school and in all different degrees where you've had finals week, where it's test upon test and you have to show your knowledge and you have to, show up in different ways, and it can be very grueling, especially if you want to do well. And it reminds me too of finals week and then followed by comps for my master's degree. And if I was going to have life balance during those times, I would be beating myself up, because the truth is, I didn't sleep as much as I usually do. I didn't eat the same way I usually do. I spent an inordinate amount of time delving into books and studies and research and knowledge and understanding, and I didn't have the social life I usually have. And I remember in Gainesville, I used to call my family and my friends that weren't at school knowing it was finals week, and I would say, all right, we're coming into finals week. I will talk to you in 10 days, or I'll talk to you in 7 days, whatever the time was. And then that let them know that I was going to be delving into my studies and passing my finals and doing what a college student is meant to do. Was my life in balance in the traditional sense? Absolutely not. I spent way more time studying, but it was for a season, a very short season. And so then as my life settled back down and came back around, kind of like an ocean drum, then all the other parts, my sleep and my exercise and my social and my sailing and everything reemerged. And so had I been trying to keep a balance the whole time in the traditional sense of understanding this word, I would have failed. But I didn't fail at all. What I really did was I kept an equilibrium and communicated clearly with people around me that I am devoting this time and effort during this season to this particular goal. And we all have vision, we all have goals, we all have things that will take priorities. For example, having a baby. The baby takes priority. Once that baby is born, the adults don't sleep usually very much, right? And things shift and alter. And some relationships may go a little longer without speaking to people, or maybe speak more to people. Everything shifts and changes. Is everything in that perfect 2-scale linear balance? Absolutely not. It's in a flow of equilibrium where if the new baby sleeps really well that night or things are going really well, there's a different kind of equilibrium than maybe if there's a health thing or the baby doesn't sleep well or there's a food allergy or all the different factors that happen. Same thing with work. I work with a lot of gifted professionals that have a lot of deadline-driven activities that they must do. And so sometimes it takes devoting a more than usual amount of time to whatever the project is, knowing that the life comes back to an equilibrium or a flow. So what I like to think about is maintaining a healthy flow of things, knowing that it's not all or none at all. It's not in balance or out of balance. That polarized black-white thinking does not work very well for people who are highly sensitive or gifted or are multi-potentialites with lots of things happening. It just simply is inadequate. So what we want to keep doing is realizing that life is in flow. So for me, the higher question is, am I in equilibrium? Am I in flow? Am I focused on a certain season of my life, not to the exclusion of others, but understanding that life comes and goes, and in our different times of our life, different points of our career, different points in our family life, and all of these things, there are lots of factors. I'm thinking I just recently got a new puppy, and my life has changed a little bit because of my new puppy. And is my life in total balance? Well, work life exactly balanced? No, not exactly, because we have a new energy in the home and things are shifting a little. Am I in equilibrium and in flow with this precious little being? Absolutely. And it's all okay. So we have a choice of holding ourselves to a limited, in the box kind of right, wrong, good, bad way of looking at the world, work, life. Well, there's much more to work than that one word. And there's much, much more to life than that one word. And for a lot of people, their work and their life intersect in lots of really amazing ways. And that's also not accounted for. So I like to see it as an ocean drum that has lots of BBs in it. And all of the factors always remain. It's just what are we focusing on and how is the flow moving in the moment? So we want to be careful not to be stagnant and get stuck, right? Kind of like the old school records would get stuck in the scratch, or just like a stagnant lake, like the Dead Sea. We don't want to be that. We also don't want to always have to be rushing, hurrying, and pretending like we're human doings instead of human beings. It's this beautiful, in my mind, elegant kind of flow that has a simplicity and a complexity to it all at the same time. For me, it's just absolutely beautiful. And so I invite you to begin to release the limited idea of a two-sided scale and having to balance A and B, and understand that you have an entire 88 keyboard on your piano. You have the entire experience. You have the whole symphony, not just two instruments. You have a unique, beautiful life that has many nuances and many requirements and demands and vision and love and all of these different factors, and all should be really loved and taken care of perfectly. And so life equilibrium for gifted, talented people makes much more sense to me. Life equilibrium in my own world makes much more sense to me. So I invite you to just take a look at it and see what you think of these ideas. Feel free to leave me a comment or tell me what you're thinking about it, because it's very interesting, I think, to begin to expand our paradigm, because that the world is always expanding and we are always being invited as people to continue to expand and grow and allow our innermost fire to emerge more fully each day. Every day we are being invited, and every moment So who you are today is not who you were last week or last month. Your life has seasons. Your life has experience that make your autobiography, that make you who you are. It's beautiful. So seek a nice, beautiful equilibrium and know that even if things are turbulent and all the different BBs in your drum are going at it, you still can have calm in the midst of the storm. You have calm after the storm. You can allow yourself to really jumble it up and get going and get a lot of things done, and then give yourself rest. It's not always about trying to hit those two sides of that scale, being in balance all the time. To me, that's more stressful. So I hope this shorter episode than usual served you with these ideas, because I really believe that if we begin to expand our paradigm, we begin to have more compassion and grace for ourselves and for others. And that, my friends, I believe is vital in this day, in this age. So feel free to email me or do a call with me if you want to do a 30-minute call with me and we can talk about this further. Whatever will serve you the best, that's what I'm here for. Thank you for listening. And remember, put your face to the sun so the shadows fall behind you, because you're a rock star and you're here on purpose with a purpose. So let all of your instruments in your symphony sing and allow that beautiful equilibrium in your world to emerge as you stand in your own sovereignty. Until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, be well. Are you tired of searching for someone to understand you? Join our Facebook group, Someone Gets Me. In this group, you will be able to connect with others who are intense, sensitive, smart, and talented. I share my insights and teachings, and you can connect with others in a real, authentic, safe forum. So join us today. Someone Gets Me.